Okay, so it is now somewhere around a week later, and we have drove the Jimmy some since then and checked on these hubs as they are, the automatic hubs, and I've made a decision. The decision being I'm going to go ahead and put these lockers on, the manual lockers, and there's instructions on what we got to do. This is the inner piece that there's basically just two splined collars in here, one on the axle shaft, one that locks against this piece, which would be locked against the hub, and that goes into the hub. These springs that are sitting in here, they press against this. As you can see, I'm holding my camera with one side, but that'll press down and lock into this center piece, and that's how you get a locked hub. So here's what we found out. Took this thing to a gravel lot, tried the four-wheel drive again, and like I said, I was surprised the other day when I got under it. It actually, both of them started locking, but they weren't consistent in the way they locked compared to my 81 over there. So we took it to a gravel lot, and I don't think they engaged the first time around, and I had to back up. I backed up a little bit and then went forward, and they engaged again, which kind of simulated issue I was seeing here in the shop. Took it out, backed up, let them unlock, did it again. I think it locked the second time. So tried it the third time. They didn't lock. So point being, they're inconsistent. They would probably work. I mean, on a gravel lot, all I can do is turn the steering wheel tight, left or right, or both, and try to get a difference in the wheels spinning outer versus inner, vice versa, to get it to lock. But they just, like I said, they don't act like the 81 over there. So I'm going to suspect they're probably got too much grease on them, or the wrong grease, or they're not clean, or something like that. But still, they're inconsistent. So when you need four-wheel drive, you need four-wheel drive. You want them to work. So even though it means I may have to get out and manually lock the hubs, at least I'll know I have four-wheel drive when I need it, versus these being inconsistent. I'd also worry about these possibly, if they don't engage right away like they should, and say you get on the gas and spin the back a little bit and that shaft's rotating into this, it might bite super hard in here and might break something, strip something out, I don't know, in here, because they're not fully engaging properly when they should. So all that said, I've made the decision to go ahead and swap them out, which was probably the no-brainer from the beginning. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of diagnose and go through it, troubleshoot them, and see what it was. I could probably take these apart, clean them, do the proper maintenance, put them back on. They'd probably be fine until they either get too much grease or stuff on them again, whatever's causing them. Like I said, the other side don't even, this one has a nice disengaging clunk. The other one does not, so it don't even sound right. And this was the side I suspected bad. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started today. It is much colder in here today. But get these off, try to get the manuals on. The wheel on the other side, I may check the bearing tightness on that side. This side I think's fine. Although the other side mimics the play that I have in the truck. And maybe this one's a little bit tighter, but I don't think this one's too tough. Anyway, might check that. I think I have the right tool over here. I don't think I showed this the other day. I bought this tool right here, which is supposed to go in and get the tensioning nut and the lock nut. I'm not 100% sure this is the right size, but I went ahead and grabbed it in case, and if it ain't right, I still have the receipt. So that'll be that. So let me get started on this. Sorry it's a long video, but maybe it'll help some of y'all diagnose this and decide whether to change these over yourself. But I think in this case, I'm gonna go ahead and change these over. And these are also known for potentially trying to engage on their own a little bit at high speeds or higher speeds. And that's something you don't want either. I've seen where somebody mentioned having a vibration. It almost was like a wheel out of balance, but it was actually these things trying to engage when they're not supposed to. So since I'm not going to be, I mean, this is more of a show vehicle now, but since this isn't going to be getting majorly off-roaded very rarely and whatnot, I think just having these manuals on there just to make sure they're not engaging when they're not supposed to, and then I can engage them if I ever need to. I probably will need to occasionally exercise them every now and then just to make sure everything is functioning. I like to do that on the truck occasionally, and when I'm out at the farm, I'll just throw it in there. I don't need it, but just to make sure everything's engaging and working and nothing freezes up, locks up, that kind of stuff. So anyway, let me get started on this. Okay, so there you have it. I've installed the manual hubs now. Hopefully I got everything right. I omitted all the parts that were in the instructions. There's a little play in this hub, how it seats to the, or this outer locking piece seats to the hub. I think I've read a comment on that before. Given the fact that that inner piece is supposed to have some play in it, and the instructions tell you that, and this piece screws, these screws bolt directly into that inner piece, so it's gonna have play. I don't see how else it wouldn't. But anyway, so they're in freewheel mode right now. So if I lock it, if we'll hear it or not, but it's locked now. I feel a little bit more resistance because I see the drive shaft in here turning. So if I unlock it, there, if you heard that, it unlocked, and the drive shaft is not turning, so they work. Not much to it. Yeah, it locks pretty quick. And then there it goes, unlocks. So all I gotta do now is put this beauty cap here back on, and then go do the same thing to the other side, which I won't bore you with that. But there it is. If you've made it this far, I'd highly recommend you get a pick like this, with this little 90-degree bend that helps to get some of the little lock rings off. And then you can use any type of lock ring pliers. I didn't have mine. Mine are at the farm right now, but I have this pair of needle nose that has a little round tip, so I was able to get them out with those okay. But that's really the only specialty tools I'd say you'd need, and most people have those on hand these days. So not much to it. There's a little rubber O-ring on this. It's supposed to seal this hub. I just cleaned that up good in there, and I took a little bit of fresh grease from inside, greased it, and then on this piece I put just a little, I mean very light film of motor oil on that rubber ring, just something to give it, keep it moist and pliable and slide in there kind of easy. But we'll have to see if any grease makes its way here and tries to leak out around that. Hopefully that'll stay sealed up enough. The other one had a pretty good size rubber piece, but it actually went over a part of the automatic locking hub, so this wouldn't really work here. Yeah, I think that would interfere with this going on. But anyway, there it is. If you made it this far, appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe. I'd appreciate that. And I know this was kind of a long ordeal, but anyway, there they are. They're on. Catch you later.